Folks, it's Jim. Wanted to go over a couple of lights I think that have become my true off-grid solution. And because of that, they're on sale right now on Amazon. I went ahead and bought two more of the 2-packs of these lights for about $37, which is incredible because a single one, like the LOTOFIT, retails, it was way above 30, and then they fell to 30. Now they're down around 27 for the single. So two of those would be 54 bucks, whereas these are selling at $37 for two of them in the 2-pack. This is by Piuiolu or something like that, Piuoliou, Piuiolu or something. But they're the exact same lights. LOTOFIT just happens to put their logo on here and sell them in the single version with the smaller solar panel. So picture the panel that comes in the other one as at least twice the size of this. Both charge equally as well, and most of my lights are charged by 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, which is blowing my mind. But let's get into why I really like these. It's in the off mode now, the actual shutdown mode. So let me turn it on for you. And now from here on out, once it's on, I had it in the shutdown mode, but now I can control it, right, with the remote control. But that's not all. I can change the color. So if I'm working on something technical and I need bright light, I can change this to the 5,000 Kelvin, or what I like, which is the warm white at 3,000 Kelvin, which I think is much better on the eyes. And then that's not all. We can dim them down several levels, which I absolutely love. I don't need bright light all the time, and I don't even think it's good for our eyes. So I enjoy the fact that not only can I make this a warm white at 3,000 Kelvin, I can also dim it way down, which I think long term will be better on our eyes anyway. Now those are my opinions, okay? So, and then I can control them. They both are the exact same light really, so even though I'll, in the end, have 8 remotes, I only need one to light my whole house. Isn't that awesome? And what I do is I put hooks at point of use, so I don't need to be running cables and all that. I can just simply hang them up where I need them, okay? Whether that's out on my deck, out at a shed, whatever. Just by putting hooks up around my house, I can carry these to whatever point of use I want. And it saves us a lot. The other thing I like about it is when I get up in the middle of the night, okay, I have a bathroom in my bedroom, so I can just point the remote at the bathroom and turn on the light. So no more stumbling around looking for light switches in the middle of the night. Or when I leave the kitchen, I can go down the hallway, turn on the bedroom, turn on the bathroom, and when I leave the bathroom, go back to the kitchen, off, all from the same remote. So I really love that. No more rumbling, bumbling, stumbling around the house looking for lights and light switches, right? So I absolutely love that too. But the main thing is running a whole house inverter to run simple, small loads like this is kind of foolish, right? So having DC to DC, solar to battery, is much more efficient, isn't it? And also if I were building today, I would no longer be running lights up in my ceiling and all that, lighting circuitry, which saves a lot on copper wiring, doesn't it? And now we have point of use, so there's a lot of savings in there. And if I were building today, I would be completely rethinking the lighting of my home. Absolutely, because the technology of lighting is just advancing so far. And these are completely off-grid. And if I'm running a whole house inverter just to run a couple of lights in a computer, it's kind of foolish. The amount of losses taking place during that process just to run a couple of lights in a computer is absolutely ridiculous. So for me, my calculations are I'll be saving almost 8,000 hours of operation on my whole house inverter a year simply by rethinking small items like computers, cell phones, lighting. Even my coffee now is on a power station. So all of those things, coffee, lights, computers, cell phones, everything is all off grid now, DC to DC generally, and it is obviously not the coffee pot, but it is so much more efficient, and I don't have all those line losses. Sometimes to run a 10-watt light, just getting the electricity from point A to point B, the line losses to get to that point may be greater than the actual use of the item we're running. I know, sounds crazy, doesn't it? But that's the reality of electricity. We have line losses. Wire is resistance, and in resistance is loss. Okay, so the less wire I run and the more things I apply at point of use, the better off I'm going to be. And so that's why I have rethought my lighting and am fully invested in these and now own 8 total of these lamps. And you've seen the comfort level that I can set with these, mood, everything, color, all of it. Just fantastic. And I only need one remote. I have 8 remotes now, but I only need one to run my whole house. And I can have 2 up. If someone's over, they can have their remote too. So they can, you know, turn on and off any light they want and set the brightness level or whatever. Very simple. And the quality of the product seems to be good. And again, let me say that they seem to be charged by between 9 and 11 o'clock every morning, whether it's overcast, rain, or what. Okay, and wow, I don't run them on bright very often because they are 1200 lumens. But I run them at medium or low, and this is a big 4500 milliamp hour battery. But getting back to the main point of why I'm doing this, the savings of copper running overhead lights is crazy when I can just put a little simple hook and I can move one of these lights anywhere. If I were off-grid living, this would be my lighting solution now. Now, let me put a disclaimer in there. Do everything at your own risk. This is not advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment purposes, and I'm not trying to sell you these lights. I am simply sharing with you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Okay? I have a big whole house system. I excess solar everywhere. But it doesn't make sense to run those systems for a light or a computer or a cell phone or to make a pot of coffee. It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. And now I'm able to downsize my solar system. I have 3 or 4 times more solar than I need now, okay, because of making simple changes in my life. And if we ever get to a grid down scenario, you can bet that's going to come in handy, isn't it? So now I'm thinking I'll just run my box inverter 3 hours a day, maybe 4 for laundry, cooking, showers, and all of that, and then shut that box inverter down and run everything else DC to DC point of use. Really simple. And not only that, the convenience of having a remote control. No more bumbling, stumbling around looking for a light in the middle of the night. Just click, light, let there be light. So I'm really digging it all the way around. And I think I found a pretty good product here. I've been running them for 3 months, and the more I use them, the more I absolutely really like the solution I've found for me. So I hope you're thinking things like this through and trying to get more DC to DC, taking loads off of your whole house system, and even just the line losses that we're paying for electricity bills when we run that grid electricity to run a simple 10 watt LED bulb. The line losses in the actual copper may be greater than the actual light we're trying to run. So, you know, that's something I wanted to share in the video too. Very happy. This happens to be LOTOFIT. This is Piuiolu or whatever. They're both on Amazon. If you don't like them, you can send them back, can't you? But I tell you, if you try one, you're probably going to say, dang, I'm going to start switching my whole house over. Because having the convenience of one remote to light up whatever I want and set the mood for that light is fantastic. Wow, it's a whole new world that we live in. The technology just keeps getting better, and it's getting easier and easier and easier to actually begin a solar journey and get less and less dependent on the grid, you know, no matter where we live. And again, I just put hooks around my house. So I can actually carry these to point of use, out on my deck, camp, bug out, whatever. Okay, this solves the solution for all of it, you know, and for me anyway. You know, you got to make the decisions that are right for you. And I'm certainly not trying to sell you anything, but wow, I am absolutely happy. Lighting technology is getting so much better. And I don't know if I mentioned this is a big 4500 milliamp hour battery. They're also USB rechargeable. And if you want them to off, if you're not going to be using them for a month or so, you just simply push and hold the off button till the light goes out. Now it's actually off. If you don't do that, the remote, there's a little remote sensor in here, that's going to keep drawing little bits of energy, and over 2 or 3 weeks or a month, it will drain the battery just sitting there. So remember that secret, okay? On, push and hold the off button, and boom, there you go. Now it's in real off mode, and it's not going to be bleeding energy while it's in resting, while you're not using them for a month or two, which I'll be doing. If I go on a road trip for a month or two, I'm going to have to shut these down because I don't want them just sitting around bleeding energy. And the solar panels work fantastic. The charging circuit is excellent. Like I say, there's a little green LED here, and it goes out when the lamp's charged, and it just amazes me at how quickly they charge every day using the solar panels that come with them, or just using the USB charger off my portable power station. So now lighting, coffee, computer, all that stuff. And now I'm even taking my TVs off grid with the portable power stations because I don't watch them all that much. But now I can take the portable power station to the point of use, boom, plug it in. I'm not on grid line losses and all that waste again either. So now when I'm watching TV or whatever, it's all off grid now, DC, coming from the sun, right? On very small system. You'll see when I finish building that. So anyway, I'm really jazzed about this lighting solution. This company's LOTOFIT. If you click on it on Amazon, this is going to come up as an option in that option bar down below. So you'll probably be able to find these. I have never seen them this cheap, other than when I got them, when they were cheap during the China's panic trying to sell everything off 3 or 4 months ago. But now they're back down at those low prices again. So that's why I'm doing this video. Anytime we can go DC to DC, the power factor savings is just fantastic, and I am so jazzed and very, very happy. And I can take them to camp, bug out, whatever. So multiple things out on my deck, into a shed, whatever. Doesn't really matter. So I'm loving it. Wherever there's a hook and I can hang a light, bang, I got light. Hope you're all doing well. Hope life's treating you good. Jim out.